How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be ranking every perk right now in Modern Warfare 3. I'm going to take all 9 perks that are currently in the game and I'm going to rank them from the worst to the best in my opinion. If anybody currently disagrees with my list, let me know in the comments down below and let me know what you guys think that should be on this tier list and what place you think that these perks should be in. I know not everybody thinks that some perks are better than the other, and everybody has their own opinion and they're entitled to it, so just let me know in the comments down below. I'm really interested to see what everybody has to say. And one more last thing before we get into the list, if you guys want to see more videos like this, hit that like button. I got a couple ideas for the channel that I want to currently do and a bunch of live stream and video ideas that I want to post, so hit that little bell when you subscribe and stay tuned for the new videos that I got coming out. Now, with the first entry on this list coming in on the number 9 spot, I have Elemental Pop. Basically what Elemental Pop does is it makes it so that when you shoot zombies, alternate ammo mods do start activating even if you don't have them equipped. Now on paper this sounds awesome, just to have random alternate ammo type just randomly activating while you're shooting zombies. The problem is that in Modern Warfare 3 the ammo mods were severely nerfed to the point where there's no point of really rocking them unless you're using Shatter Blast to break the armors of the boss worms, and at that point you might as well just enable the certain ammo mod that you want for your gun. Not only that, there's different alternatives to the ammo mods now, so instead of using Deadwire you could just go ahead and pick up your Wonder Waff and use that, which is a way better Deadwire. It's a wonder weapon, so it shoots to actually kill, and you're getting an entire group of zombies all in one bullet instead of waiting for a Deadwire shot to activate and randomly get a few zombies like 1 or 2. Also in Modern Warfare 3 they took away a feature that Elemental Pop actually had in Cold War, where it was actually like an electric cherry. Every time you reloaded, a spark of electricity used to spawn in, killing any nearby zombies that were next to you at the time of that reload, which I'm guessing they just did that so they have another reason to add another perk later down the line. That's still not a good reason to take away a key ability from the perk. Overall, Elemental Pop was just nerfed so hard to the point where it's just easily become the worst perk in the game at this point. Moving on to the number 8 spot. In the number 8 spot I have Tombstone. Now what Tombstone does in this game is on death you create a tombstone stash at a location containing your backpack inventory for the next game, meaning once you die and you spectate, you can actually come in the next game and come pick up the items that you had in your backpack. This is another one of those perks that on paper sounds like a good idea and sounds like it will work perfectly, but in practicality and in use it just doesn't make sense, since the whole main objective of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is to extract, and you're also given reasons to extract, such as getting schematics and acquiring different items for your next game. There's only really one real good use for the Tombstone soda at this time, and that's for glitches. There's a bunch of duplication glitches and a bunch of exploits right now with Tombstone that revolve mainly around it, so that you can keep your items for next game and also duplicate them into your stash, so you could basically have an infinite ray gun, infinite legendary ether tools, and legendary pack-a-punch crystals. It is also used to duplicate points, which, if you know by playing the game, points are very hard to come by, as you have to basically do contracts for the entirety of the game before you can actually get a whole pack-a-punch tier 3 weapon in the span of 45 minutes. So basically, if you're not using glitches or anything like that exploiting the game, there's not a real purpose for you to run around with Tombstone and get Tombstone every single game, unless maybe you have some items that you can't hold into your stash, and instead of bringing them out of the game to put them in your stash, you just kill yourself and retrieve the items next game. Now we're gonna go ahead and move into the 7th spot. So for the 7th spot I have Quick Revive. Now over the last years, Quick Revive has had a spiraling out from being one of the most needed perks in the game to being a perk that if you want you don't even have to pick up anymore. The whole purpose of picking up Quick Revive was so that in solo you have an extra life. You used to be able to have 4 extra lives before Quick Revive used to disappear, meaning when you got down you could revive yourself in a solo game. And I think this all changed when Call of Duty Cold War came out, where they included the additions of self-revives into the game. This basically turned the main function of Quick Revive from reviving you when you went down in a solo game to basically just regenerating your health quicker, so that you're not on red screen for an insane amount of time. That's cool and all, but there's still other ways in the game to make your health regeneration go quicker, such as picking up stims and stimming up whenever zombies hit you, or using Healing Aura, which not only heals all the health that you have but heals teammates' health around you. The main reason why this perk wasn't any lower on this list was because of the advantages of co-op play, where you can actually revive your teammates much quicker. You reduce the revive time of your ally by 50%, making co-op play much easier than what it is already. Considering this game mode is mostly meant for co-op and is not a solo game mode, this is why this perk isn't much lower, because this perk actually helps you in those co-op situations, especially if you're fighting bosses and you have to quickly revive your teammates. But also at the same time, does it really help because your teammates can just get a self-revive and tap their way up. So basically they can hold square up to the point where they're basically just a tap away from reviving them, and there's no point of quick revive. You can basically see the theme of these first few perks on the list, where basically there's other ways that you could get the same effects that don't require you spending the points on those perks, making them useless in some situations where instead of you going out and risking your life to go ahead and get these perks, you could just go ahead and find alternative methods and better methods to use these in a better way. Now moving on to the number 6 spot, this is a perk that if a few years ago you asked me where you would put it on your perk tier list, I would have put it at the bottom of mine. This is going to be Deadshot Daiquiri. Now I'm putting Deadshot here is because what it does basically is when you aim down sight, it moves your ADS to the head of an enemy if you're on controller. It doesn't do this if you're on mouse and keyboard though, because you don't have aim assist, but still it does have a functionality now on mouse and keyboard. Now what it does is it increases enemy critical damage, which is very useful in the tier 3 zones, especially against those boss zombies like the manglers and the mimic. This makes Deadshot one of the most needed perks, especially in the tier 3 zones and in the dark ether, since the increase and multiplier of headshots are insane. It makes your guns go from having no damage to doing so much damage that you can instantly one-shot these boss zombies in these higher tier zones. Now enough of Deadshot Daiquiri here, let's get into the number 5 spot on the list. So for the number 5 spot here, I have Depth Perception. Basically what Depth Perception does is that obscured enemies, chests, resources, and item drops are more easily spotted, meaning that you can target them through walls, you can see them vividly. This helps for ether nests, infested strongholds, and anything that involves having to do any mercenary challenges, because you can see all the enemies through the wall before you even get a hold of doing this. Now this is a great perk if you're thinking about going for legacy or doing any infested strongholds, especially in the tier 3 zone, since there is a mission that you have to complete that involves you doing a infested stronghold in the tier 3 zone. Not only that, but in the dark ether there's a few Easter eggs that allow you to get wonder weapons through these walls, and you can tell which wonder weapon is on which wall by using Depth Perception to look at the weapons case, and by the shape of the weapons case you can tell if you have a VR11, a Scorcher, or a ray gun weapons case. Now it's just the little things that Depth Perception does, the little quality of life additions that the perk adds to your game that really helps it and makes it one of the better perks. Now for the number 4 spot, this is actually going to be like a reverse of the Deadshot Daiquiri. If you asked me a few years ago what perk is the best in COD Zombies, I would tell you Juggernaut is, but we're no longer in 2015 now, we're basically almost in 2024, and for the number 5 spot, I'm going to put Jug in here. Now I'm putting Jug here because it increases your maximum health. Now it's not as good as it used to be in previous Call of Duty experiences where you would go from a 2-hit down to a 5-hit down, and the reason for that is that now in zombies we have armor plates, so there's not a real use of needing Juggernaut all the time, but Juggernaut does help now because of the tier 3 and dark ether zones, and because of how difficult it is, it's always good to have that extra health even if you have armor plates already equipped. Me personally, I wouldn't skip out on getting Jug even though we have armor plates, because the extra hits that you could take with Jug in the tier 3 zones might be the difference between life and death in that certain situation. So I wouldn't recommend skipping on Jug. Something else I would not recommend skipping are the next few perks on this list. These are going to be the best of the best, the top perks that you can get in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Now starting off in the top 3 spot here, I put Speed Cola. Basically what Speed Cola does is it allows you to reload your weapons faster and swap your weapons faster, but that's not just the only thing, because one of the biggest things that Speed Cola actually does is that it now allows you to add your armor way quicker, meaning instead of taking 10 seconds to put on 3 plates, you're putting all 3 plates in a matter of a split second. I'm talking 2 seconds, you're ready to pop those plates, you're ready to get back into that fight that you were just in, and you're ready to go, man. Speed Cola is a must have no matter what. Reload while running, you're swapping your weapons quickly, you're reloading your weapons quickly, especially if you have a big drum magazine on your weapon, and you're also plating up quicker. Now for the number 2 spot on this list, this one was quite a hard one. I didn't know if I wanted to put this one as the number 2 or the number 1, but I have Stamina Up. Now Stamina Up is one of those perks where before it's something that I would just neglect and not worry about it, but now it is something that it is a necessity, man. This map is so huge that now that you have to run from point A from point B, Stamina is a literal godsend. It increases your run and sprint speed as well as your tactical sprint speed. You can run while you are reloading, and it is just one of the best perks in this game overall. Without it, you run super slow to the point where the zombies in the tier 2 zone actually start catching up and swinging at you. And if you're in the tier 3 zone or in the dark ether, there is zero chance that you are outrunning those zombies without Stamina Up. Those zombies are way faster than you. Without Stamina Up, those zombies are going to be catching up and hitting you in the back so much to the point where you're actually going to go down because of it. Now, the time that you've been waiting for, now it's time to get into what is the best perk in the game. And in my opinion, the best perk right now in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is PhD Flopper. I think the best part of PhD are all the abilities that come with it. Over time, it's turned from just a perk that negates all damage to eventually becoming a perk where you have to slide with it, but that feature isn't in this version of PhD Flopper. But there's still new features and abilities in this version of PhD Flopper that still make it the best perk in the game. Some of these abilities are like you don't need a mask anymore and you're immune to the storm and the infested nest spores from the infested strongholds and ether nest. This makes it so that if you're trying to take out the storm caller boss, you don't have to worry about getting a gas mask. You could just get PhD and go in there and just worry about having to kill him and the tier 3 zombies. Same thing goes when you're trying to clear an infested stronghold or an ether nest. You could just go in there without worrying about taking any damage to the spores. You could go in there, kill all the zombies, and explode all the nests. Speaking about exploding, this gets into the next point where you negate all explosion damage from any weapon. Meaning, if you guys want to go ahead and get those ether nests and infested strongholds done easily, you could just run in there with a grenade launcher, spam the entire place up with grenade launcher bullets, and just go ahead and clear it easily. This works perfectly well, especially when you pair it with a perk like Death Perception, which makes it so that you can see all the spores through the wall. Not only are you immune to any explosions from your grenade launchers or rocket launchers that you're using, you're also immune to the splash damage that you get from using the ray gun and using the Wonder Waff, which is kind of crazy to me that the Wonder Waff in this game has splash damage, and it does so much damage that sometimes I find myself dying to my own Wonder Waff bullet. I'm not 100% sure, but I also believe that PhD negates any damage from your incoming airstrikes, such as your mortar strikes or your precision airstrike. Also, another big feature that PhD has is that you don't take any damage to the explosions in the fire from the hellhounds, meaning that it's way easier to survive now that you're not taking the damage from the hellhounds. Since there's a lot of hellhounds that do chase you around the map, sometimes you end up dying to the explosions of the hellhounds because of it. And overall, I just think PhD is great in terms of surviving. It's probably one of the best survival perks out there besides Jug and Sweet Cola. And yeah, everybody, I think that's it for my list. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more content like this, guys, think about hitting that like button and subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.